You saved your first $10,000 with discipline. You said no to purchases. You recovered from unexpected expenses. You kept adding money even when progress felt painfully slow. But if your second $10,000 still depends on remembering to save, resisting every temptation, and hoping there is money left at the end of the month, it may take just as long as the first. Because your first $10,000 was built by effort. Your second should be built by a system, and simply scheduling one automatic transfer into one savings account is not a complete system. That only automates the movement of money. It does not decide what the money should accomplish, when one job is fully funded, or where the next dollar should go. In this video, we are going to build the automatic paycheck system I promised you, a system that directs every future contribution toward 4 jobs: safety, protection, growth, and opportunity. I will show you how to choose the amount, how to divide it, how the percentages should change as your financial life improves, and the redirect rule that can help your second $10,000 arrive faster than the first. Not because the system creates money from nothing, but because it reduces financial leaks, prevents unnecessary setbacks, and gives every future paycheck a clear direction. Your first $10,000 proved something. Your first $10,000 proved that you can save, but it probably did not prove that you have a repeatable financial system. Think about how most people save. Their paycheck arrives, bills are paid, normal spending begins, a few unexpected purchases appear, and near the end of the month, they look at whatever remains and decide whether they can move some of it into savings. That method places saving last, and when saving comes last, everything else receives permission to grow first. A better system reverses the order. You decide in advance how much of each paycheck will be used to build your financial future. That amount moves automatically before it can quietly disappear into dozens of small decisions. But there is an important distinction. You are not automatically dividing your entire paycheck among these 4 jobs. Your housing, food, transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments, and other essential obligations still need to be planned. The automatic system controls the portion of your income you have deliberately chosen to build with. I call this your build rate. Step 1. Choose your build rate. Your build rate is the amount of every paycheck that will automatically enter the 4-job system. It can be a percentage of your take-home pay or a fixed dollar amount. If your income is predictable, a fixed amount may be easier. If your income changes from month to month, a percentage may adapt more naturally. The exact number is less important than 2 qualities. It must be meaningful enough to create progress, and it must be sustainable enough that you do not keep reversing the transfers. Because an aggressive automation that you cancel after every difficult month is not discipline. It is financial theater. Imagine you receive 2 paychecks per month and decide that you can consistently direct $500 from each paycheck toward your future. Your build rate is $1,000 per month. That does not mean you can never add more. Bonuses, tax refunds, freelance income, or unusually inexpensive months can increase it. But the automatic system begins with the amount that can survive ordinary life, not your perfect month, your normal month. If $1,000 is unrealistic, begin with $500. If $500 is unrealistic, begin with $200. The purpose is to create a machine that continues running. You can increase its speed later. Step 2. Create the 4 destinations. The next step is to give each job a visible destination. You need an operating account where your paycheck arrives and normal expenses are paid. Then you need 4 clearly separated destinations. The first is your safety floor, the second is your protection shield, the third is your growth engine. The fourth is your opportunity fund. These do not necessarily need to be 4 different banks. Depending on the accounts and tools available to you, they could be separate savings accounts, labeled sub-accounts, sinking funds, or investment destinations. The point is not to create unnecessary complexity. The point is to prevent money with 4 different purposes from becoming one confusing balance. When everything sits together, you cannot easily tell what is safe to use. You may look at a $10,000 balance and feel financially strong, even though $4,000 is needed for emergencies, $2,000 is reserved for an upcoming expense, and another portion was supposed to remain invested for years. A balance tells you how much money exists. A system tells you what the money is allowed to do. Schedule the transfers shortly after each paycheck arrives, not at the end of the month. You are building first and then spending from what remains, rather than spending first and hoping your future receives the leftovers. Step 3. Give every job a target automation. Without targets creates another problem. The transfer continues forever, even after one job no longer needs additional money. That is how people accidentally overfund cash while starving growth. Every job needs a target or a decision rule. Your safety floor target is based on essential monthly expenses and financial vulnerability. Someone with predictable income, two earners in the household, strong insurance, and low fixed expenses may need a different floor than someone who is self-employed, supports a family, or works in an unstable industry. Your protection shield target is based on specific financial leaks. That might include expensive debt, an insurance deductible, necessary repairs, annual bills, or predictable expenses that repeatedly force you to use credit. Your growth engine is different. It does not have a small finish line. Its purpose is long-term ownership and compounding over time. But it does have a time rule. Money assigned to growth should not be money you expect to need for next month's rent or next year's car repair. Your opportunity fund also needs a target, not "I might buy a course someday." A real target sounds like this. I need $1,500 for a certification that qualifies me for positions I have confirmed are hiring. Or, I need $800 for equipment that will allow me to take paid clients. Or, I need enough money to cover the cost of relocating for a stronger job opportunity. Without a specific action, amount, and reason, the opportunity fund can become another account that grows without purpose. Every bucket should answer 3 questions. What is this money for? How much does this job need? What happens to future contributions when the target is reached? That final question is where the system becomes powerful. The 4 jobs should not always receive equal amounts. A common mistake would be dividing every contribution equally. 25% to safety, 25% to protection, 25% to growth, 25% to opportunity. It looks organized, but it ignores your actual financial condition. If you have no emergency reserve, your safety floor may deserve more attention. If you already have a strong reserve but are paying expensive interest, the protection shield may be the priority. If your foundation is stable and your major leaks are controlled, the growth engine may receive most of the contribution. The system should change as your financial life changes. Here is one possible starting framework. These percentages are examples, not universal instructions. Phase 1. Stabilize. You're in the stabilize phase if one ordinary emergency could immediately force you into debt. During this phase, your automatic build amount might be divided like this: 60% to the safety floor, 25% to the protection shield, 10% to the growth engine, 5% to the opportunity fund. Imagine your build rate is $1,000 per month. That would send $600 toward safety, $250 toward protection, $100 toward long-term growth, and $50 toward opportunity. Why contribute anything to growth while building the safety floor? Because a small, permanent contribution begins establishing the habit and the infrastructure. You are not depending on that money for emergencies. You are teaching the system to acquire long-term assets automatically. Why place only a small amount into opportunity? Because increasing income matters, but an opportunity should not be funded by leaving your basic life dangerously exposed. The goal of this first phase is not maximum growth. It is preventing one bad event from repeatedly resetting your progress. Phase 2. Repair. Once you have established a reasonable initial cushion, the main weakness may move from safety to protection. Perhaps you have high-cost debt. Perhaps you know your car needs work. Perhaps you have annual expenses that keep appearing on credit cards because you never prepare for them. During the repair phase, the same $1,000 build rate might be divided differently: 25% to continue building the safety floor, 50% to the protection shield, 20% to the growth engine, 5% to the opportunity fund. Now, $500 attacks the most expensive or dangerous financial leak. The important word is attack. Do not divide the protection shield among 15 small problems merely because they all exist. Identify which problem creates the greatest financial drag or the highest risk of forcing you backward. Give the money a sequence: one target, then the next. Automation works best when the destination is clear. Phase 3. Build. You enter the build phase when your safety floor has reached its planned target and the major financial leaks are controlled. Now your automatic system can become more aggressive toward the future. An example might be 10% for safety maintenance, 10% for predictable protection expenses, 60% for the growth engine, 20% for the opportunity fund. Using the same $1,000 monthly build rate, $600 now moves toward long-term growth and $200 toward realistic ways to expand future earning power. Safety and protection still receive attention. Your emergency reserve may need to grow when your expenses increase. Your sinking funds need to prepare for future bills, but they are no longer allowed to consume every new dollar indefinitely. This is the transition many responsible savers never make. They build safety successfully. Then they continue building more safety forever because seeing cash feels emotionally comfortable. But once the job is properly funded, continuing to overfund it may slow every other part of the system. The redirect rule. This is the most important rule in the entire system. When one job reaches its target, its automatic contribution does not become spending money. It gets redirected. Imagine you were sending $600 per month to your safety floor. After several months, the account reaches the target you established. Most people would stop the transfer and quietly allow that $600 to disappear back into their lifestyle. The system does something different. The transfer changes destination. Part of it may accelerate the protection shield, part may enter the growth engine, part may fund a defined opportunity. But the total build rate remains intact. You are not required to sacrifice forever. You are preventing your lifestyle from automatically absorbing every improvement. The same rule applies when a debt is eliminated or a sinking fund reaches its goal. A finished payment is not permission to create another payment. It is available financial power. Redirect it before you become accustomed to spending it. That is one of the main reasons the second $10,000 can arrive faster. The first $10,000 may have been interrupted by emergencies, expensive interest, predictable bills treated as surprises, and inconsistent contributions. The system reduces those interruptions. It does not guarantee a specific result, but fewer leaks and fewer resets give your money more opportunities to remain where you placed it. Fixed income versus variable income. If your income is predictable, automation can be simple. A fixed amount moves after each paycheck. If your income changes, use a percentage. Imagine you decide that 15% of every payment received will enter the four-job system. A smaller month produces a smaller contribution. A stronger month automatically produces a larger one. This prevents you from designing your financial life around your best month and then repeatedly failing during normal months. Variable income earners may also benefit from keeping a minimum operating buffer before additional transfers occur. The principle remains the same. Do not depend on a decision you must remake every payday. Create the rule once, then allow the amount to adjust according to the rule. Stress test the automation. Before you consider the system complete, stress test it. Ask what would happen if your income dropped for 2 months. Would you immediately cancel every transfer? Would you need to move money back from the growth engine to pay normal bills? Would a predictable annual expense still end up on a credit card? If the answer is yes, the system may be too aggressive or one of the jobs may be underfunded. Good automation should make your financial life quieter. It should not create a constant cycle of transferring money out and then transferring it back. You should also review the system whenever your life materially changes. A new job, a child, a move, a large increase in expenses, a paid-off debt, a completed certification. Automation removes unnecessary monthly decisions. It does not remove the need for occasional judgment. Why the second $10,000 can be different. Think about two people who each have $10,000 and can contribute $1,000 per month. The first person sends everything into one general savings account. When a repair appears, they withdraw from it. When an annual bill arrives, they withdraw again. They occasionally invest, but stop when life feels uncertain. Every dollar is technically saved, but no dollar has a protected assignment. The second person uses the four-job system. Emergencies are handled by the safety floor. Predictable expenses are prepared for by the protection shield. The growth engine continues operating because it is separated from short-term needs. The opportunity fund is connected to specific actions that may increase future income. Both people may contribute the same amount. The system does not magically guarantee that one will become wealthy, but the second person has reduced the number of situations in which short-term life is allowed to destroy long-term progress. That is what makes the next stage different. The first $10,000 gave you protection. The automatic system gives that protection direction. Your action plan. Here is what to do this week. First, choose your build rate. Decide what amount or percentage of every paycheck can consistently enter the system. Second, create or label the 4 destinations: safety, protection, growth, opportunity. Third, write a target beside every job. How much does your safety floor need? Which leak is your protection shield solving first? What timeline belongs to your growth engine? What specific income-producing action is your opportunity fund preparing for? Fourth, choose your current phase: stabilize, repair, or build. Then schedule the automatic transfers. Finally, write the redirect rule before you need it. When this target is reached, where does the next contribution go? Do not wait until the account is full to make that decision. Decide now, while the money still has no opportunity to disappear. Your first $10,000 proved that you can save manually. Your second $10,000 should prove that you no longer need to depend entirely on willpower. Tell me in the comments which phase you are currently in: stabilize, repair, or build. And subscribe, because in the next video, we are going to calculate a realistic build rate from your actual income without creating a budget you will abandon after 2 weeks. Your first $10,000 was built by discipline. Your next $10,000 will be built by design.